Welcome to episode 39 of the Game Bowl Podcast, the official podcast of thegamebowl.com. And Grant, once again, is out because he has basketball practice or a game, I don't know what. So,
it's just an excuse to play Rocket League.
Yeah, seriously. Grant. Kid can't get enough of it. So, I am your host, Brett, for this week, and joining me is none other than the Minnesota something, I forget what I used to call you, Jason Beckhauser.
Hey, what's up? I just crawled out of a snowbank to get here.
Oh man, it's what, like 30 feet of snow right there already?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty close. It's like 46, but you're pretty close.
When does it usually start snowing for you? Like middle of like October or November?
Last year, surprisingly, it started like late September. This year it didn't happen until like mid-October, but it was like hardly anything. This is like our first big snowfall. So
okay, yeah, it's usually somewhat inconsistent. Like I remember in high school we had a couple feet, and like we ended up missing like 3 days of school because of it. Just like they'd cancel school preemptively, and then I remember one time they did like, oh, school's canceled tomorrow, and we got like half an inch.
Those are the best days.
And it's like, we to get a day off, we usually get like 5 or 6 inches, and obviously icy roads. We got like half an inch, and we're like, well, crap. Like, they gave the day off for the kids. I was like, okay, cool. I'm not complaining. I don't like, driving the snow or anything. Thankfully.
I always tease Grant because they go into like state of emergencies if they have like a half an inch and they close all the freeways in Texas. It's pretty funny.
Oh my god, it's so bad. I have some family down south, and like they get like a little droplet of winter or of snow, and it's hell on earth.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. And also joining us is none other than the Canadian something, the Canadian Smarty, the king of Rocket League, Kevin Punter.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh,
beautiful
boys! It's been
I was waiting for it.
Coming.
This isn't via a soundboard. This is the real deal.
It's been 71 years, but I'm finally on. Oh man.
Man, what have you been doing for 71 years?
I've been digging out of a snow hole.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of snow out there in Western Canada?
We actually don't. It hasn't snowed at all. It's like a little frosty, and everyone's dying because that's the most snow we get.
You're near Alberta, right?
I'm in British Columbia. Like, I'm by Vancouver.
Okay. I don't know the geography there and all the weather, so I just assumed everyone in Canada gets a million feet of snow. But I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
I know. Anyways, like I said before, this is the official podcast of the Game Bowl, of thegamebowl.com, and is your weekly dose of lightning in a bottle. And this posts to iTunes every Tuesday and YouTube every Wednesday. And per usual, we're going to start off with what we're playing. So, Kevin, why don't you start?
Alrighty, well, I'm playing Rocket League.
Really?
Oh, yes. Be shocked.
I've never heard of this game.
Be shocked. I've been playing a lot of Rocket League lately, actually. I've been watching a lot of pros play, picking up some tips, doing some cool aerials, showing off my moves.
Whoa.
Dude, my god, Rocket League is so good. You guys have to play it more.
I thought you said you have to play. I was like, of course I played it.
You have to play it.
It's fantastic.
I've been too busy playing Tony Hawk to play that game.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 75.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been like 70 games between Tony Hawk 4 and Tony Hawk 5. Like there's been 45 games between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh god.
3's not even out yet. We're getting like 2.8 HD and like 3.7 standard definition.
Dream drop distance.
Oh god, I'm so fed up with Kingdom Hearts. But that is beside the point. Yeah, Rocket League is really fun. I was always so inconsistent though. Like one match I'd be like, okay, I put up a goal, fantastic, and then I'd get like 6 points, and I'm like, what am I doing?
And then 3 own goals because you're a spy for the enemy team.
All right, listen. The first week of Rocket League was probably the worst week of my life because I got like 60 own goals, and I didn't intend to do it, but like Kevin was screaming. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, Kevin, I've never played this game. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. And he's like, don't hit your own net. I was like, dude, I can't control the car. I don't know how. I just started playing. And I slowly got better. And goodness, it feels so good to just to dominate a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
I haven't played that since like I want to say like a month after it came out, but I played that game like crazy like the first month that game came out, and I think my favorite memory playing that was when Jake invited me to that GameSpot stream, and I was playing like the GameSpot team, and I blew up Mary Kish. Oh, she was so mad. She was like
so
screaming
awesome.
about it in the office the next day. It was pretty funny.
That's so cool. I remember like my brother and I, we both had it, and I would bring my TV down and my PS4 down. So we would have like 4-player Rocket League, and just team up and just go at it. It was crazy. Like we like the second someone scores, like we're all just screaming our heads off, like yeah. And then like the second one, like someone lets anyone go, we like start like pounding on the other person, like come on you idiot, like what are you doing? It's such a good game, but I think I'm done with Rocket League for a while. I have been, but I just can't bring myself to get back into it.
That's a tragedy.
I know it is. I know it's such a good game, but I just I have to be in a mood to play a game, and Rocket League is one of those games for me.
I'm also playing Fallout 4 because I succumbed to peer pressure. I'm pretty not great at it. I'm always out of ammo. I'm always dying.
That's why you gotta choose a melee class.
I'm level 22. I keep hearing about my friends getting to like level 60 million and having like 100 suits of power armor, and it makes me feel small.
I don't see the point. I guess there are some power armor sets that are obviously better than others, but I'd want just the one best power armor, and then that's it.
The cream of the crop, if you will.
Like that's my trusty power armor. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into crafting and perfecting it the way I want it, and I feel like if I had like 4 or 5, I just wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have the love for all of them. Like I just want one, specific set.
I'm such a nervous Nancy when it comes to that power armor because I'm so scared I'm gonna like run out of power cores using those.
Oh yeah.
And I have like 30 or 40 of them. I'm just
they're
like
so easy to find, but like, it takes a good while to for one to like run out.
And it's funny too because it's like those things ran the vaults for like 200 years, yet they run a piece of power armor for like 20 minutes and then they're dead. It's like, how is that possible?
Like I remember one time I was getting towards the end of the story, and like I went into a cave and I walked in my power armor and I was getting absolutely demolished, and I was like, what the hell's going on? Like my gear was intact, it was repaired, I had 100% durability and everything was okay. And then for some reason when I took my power armor off, the people shooting me did nothing to me. I was like, well, like what's the point of using power armor? Aside from looking badass and being able to hold like a minigun, what's the point of using it? Because I'm not gonna die as easily if I'm just wearing my regular combat gear.
Right. Yeah.
But how are you liking it, Kevin?
Fallout, I like it a lot. I don't know if it's as good as Fallout New Vegas. It has better gunplay. I'm liking the companions more, but I don't know. I felt more immersed in New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I enjoyed the world more and I cared about it more. Fallout 4, I feel like I'm just kind of screwing around half the time, and that's awesome. But I don't know if it's...
Yeah, I appreciate those open world games, like Elder Scrolls and, like Fallout, where you can just screw around and do whatever you want to. But I feel like I'm more of a story-driven person. Like, I want to get from point A to point B. And yeah, there are, hundreds of buildings I'm going to come across and all these mysterious caves and all this sweet loot. But I'm like, I want to be immersed in this world because of the story and such. Truthfully, Fallout 4 is probably my least favorite of them all. But, it's still a very good game. Like, I'm, not saying it's a terrible game. Like, I think Fallout 3 is my favorite among the ones I've played is my favorite. I probably put more time into New Vegas, but when I think about it in retrospect, like I just like 3 had this magic that just sucked me in for forever. When I was younger when I played it, so I was like, it filled that like fantasy, you know, world that like I'll never get to experience, but you know I can in a video game. And you know, like you said with the gunplay, I mean, that is my biggest, you know, praise from it. Like Fallout finally feels like a competent shooter.
Definitely.
And I just love that. Like it's so refreshing to not have to use VATS every second. I'm like, oh god, when's my AP gonna be full? Now I'm like, okay, like I can just kind of like duck and cover and just, you know, take it one by one, and I can trust my ability to kill a raider or something because the gunplay isn't clunky anymore.
Yeah, skill can get you out of a tough spot in Fallout 4, whereas in all of the others, you had to rely on VATS almost exclusively. Like, I don't think I ever did a full gunfight without using VATS in either Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. It just wasn't very good.
And I love that the people move when you're in VATS. Like, I wasn't a big fan of how you can just, you know, click VATS and then you can sit there for literally 10 hours and nothing happens. Now it's like you can still die mid-VATS. You know, the person's left arm might move backwards so that 80% chance to hit drops to like 35, and it's just you gotta plan your shots accordingly, and it's just like it makes it more tactile, and I really appreciate that.
See, that part actually annoyed me just because I would always target someone's like arm or something when they're sticking out around a corner, and as soon as they fire, like they would pop back out around the corner. I was like, no, like all those shots just miss, and I'm like, come on.
Oh, Kevin, what is your favorite perk so far?
In Fallout 4,
Yeah.
Gun Nut probably is the one that's been the most useful for me because the crafting.
Yeah, I love crafting. It's so good.
Because I always feel like I need a higher. Because I'm only at Gun Nut rank 3, I believe, and because you're always finding new guns and you always want more parts. So I mean, I think that's the perk that I get the most use out of. I don't know what like my favorite, like most outlandish perk would be though, but I mean that's definitely the one.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's definitely the one that I'm finding the most use with though. What were you gonna say?
Okay. I am Team Idiot Savant.
Yes.
Best perk Fallout has ever had.
Yes.
Oh man, I haven't
It is
gotten
so
it yet.
good. Oh my god, like it's so ridiculous. And like I first encountered it, like it just makes this like weird noise, like almost like a clown laugh. It's like whoa. And it's like it like makes like a funny face and like pops up. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like why did I get like 600 experience for killing some guy? It's like, oh, Idiot Savant. I was like, oh heck yes.
Yeah, I want.
My character's dumb, but I'm gonna gain, you know, a level much faster than I normally would.
I want to get it, but I don't want to stuck being stupid. Like
that's the one downside. Like I was never able to invest my skill points in. I mean, I could have invested my skill points in like science, you know, whatever the equivalent for science of Gun Nut is. Where you can add like, you know, lasers and such to your power armor, like all this stuff, cool stuff to your power armor that you otherwise can't, and it just kind of defeats the purpose of Idiot Savant. And I'm like, I just like the next playthrough, whenever I get to it, like I'm gonna be doing, you know, a higher intelligence. Like I'm not even gonna worry about Idiot Savant. Like it's really fun to use, but I'd rather be able to craft, you know, something on my power armor that is more beneficial and just it's, you know, it's more customized and more true to heart.
Yeah, that's the first thing I did too was Idiot Savant, just because it just sounded fun, and it is. I love how that little laugh comes up every time you do something stupid. Just your experience just shoots up. It was like one of the first missions I did. I gained like almost 3 levels, and it was amazing. I was like, I love this perk. This is so awesome.
And you get upgrades, so you get like even more experience out of it, and then you know. I think the final perk is like you get random experience for doing others. Like I don't remember the exact words of it, but you know, basically you just get more experience, and it's just like, well, you're literally just given free levels because there's no level cap too. So it's like, here you go, just enjoy it.
Yeah, that and what's it called, Mysterious Stranger. Do you guys use that?
Oh yes,
What's
absolutely.
Mysterious Stranger? I haven't seen that.
Makes a Mysterious Stranger.
You use it in Fallout New Vegas? I believe it was in New Vegas.
Was it?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Makes like the weird, like the down and the guy comes out of nowhere and just kills everybody. Just one person.
Yeah, it's funny because once in a while there's a glitch where he'll pop up but his gun is like sticking through the enemy, and he shoots, and it just like totally misses, and I'm like, what just happened? Like,
Oh
it didn't
no!
do anything.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I've had instances where like he'll pop up, I'm like, oh sweet, it makes my job easier, and he just sits there like da-da-da, and like it makes a noise and like just sits there, and then he's like. Like 4 seconds later, like, dude, I thought you were right off the bat you're gonna kill this guy, but no, you weren't.
Yeah.
Do they still have Lady Fortune or Lady Luck, like the female version of Mysterious Stranger? Miss Fortune.
I'm using a female, and I know it's not any different, I don't think, than it is from a male, that perk.
Okay, because I remember watching their the Bethesda's Luck video. And Mysterious Stranger comes into the fold, and then Miss Fortune also plays a factor in that video. So I wasn't sure if they changed what Miss Fortune does, but I guess just if you play as a male character, it essentially does the same thing.
Yeah, you know what? I was a little disappointed by those videos because they show a few other things too. Like there's one where, and maybe this does come into play, and I just haven't played enough yet. But there was a point where they showed. In one of the videos, like you can flip lights off, and then it makes like enemies harder to detect you. And then they said like enemies can do the same to you. And I've never seen that yet. I've come across like light switches in the game, and I've flipped them, and they don't do anything.
Those liars.
Yeah.
Bethesda, please. I mean, I don't know. I've never really tried that. I feel like it'd be tough to calculate. How likely you are to sneak past an enemy with the lights on versus the lights off. I mean, who knows? But I would hope that would come into play.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to those videos where it's like, you can unlock this, and it kind of like flips to the next thing, and like the fall boy has like a gun behind the guy's back. He's like poking. He's like, "Give me your money." He's like, "Use it for evil." And it's like, oh my god, only Bethesda.
I thought those were all jokes until the game came out, and I was like, oh, look, that's cool, because they're actually, all the ones that they were jumping to were actual perks in the game that you can get.
It's so cool. I have the poster, and I believe it comes with the collector's edition, or it comes with the guide. I forget which one. But I haven't really opened it yet. But I love like the art design and the animations when you opening your Pip-Boy and looking at all the perks in the game.
Some of them are brutal, like that Sandman one. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my, yeah, that's been a staple for a couple years now, since 3. I know 3 New Vegas. Like if you did that, you would lose karma. Like you would get evil karma out of it.
That's one thing that.
And I think you got more experience too, and I'm not positive.
That's another thing. I was actually talking to Cody about this. Like we were saying, like there's nothing stopping you from doing anything bad or like from mugging people now, because it's like there's no good or bad karma in the game. So it's like if you're low on ammo and you have like a high pickpocketing skill, like why not go pickpocket like a shopkeeper and grab all their ammo? Like it doesn't affect you at all.
Yeah, I've used the infinite caps glitch, and I almost never do stuff like I've never done cheats in games since like I was a kid, and to my own benefit too, like. I used a glitch, and the guy had a legendary Fat Man, a bunch of ammo. I was like, I can't pass this up. And like the second I did, like I saved it, and the second I walked out of my house, I was like, holy crap! I feel like the worst human being in the world right now. Just because, like, in my good conscience, like I just broke the game just to, get more caps and ammo and a sweet gun. But I think like the next time through, I'm not even gonna think about it, just because like I know I would expose it even more.
Yeah, totally.
Kevin, what else are you playing?
I'm playing Star Wars Battlefront here and there, and boys, I don't know. I don't know what I think about it.
Wait, I mean, here's a fun fact about Star Wars. Here's a little tidbit you probably didn't know.
All right, hit me.
Okay, Darth Vader.
Don't spoil anything. God damn it.
Has a son.
Oh man.
What?
What is happening?
His name
No.
is Joss. No, it is in fact Luke Skywalker.
Oh. Now there's no point in watching the movies.
Yeah.
Cody.
They only came out in the 70s, and then rematched it like 4 different times.
Oh, it's got to be more than 4.
Like, oh, honestly, like I remember I have like the complete saga and it has like the Tatooine cover art, and I put it in a basket. And I look at the same basket and there's like a Darth Vader tin. I guess it's the original trilogy. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Like, who bought this? Like, we have the movies. Why do we need this extra thing too? Like, it's just not necessary. And I have no idea where it came from. I'm not sure if my buddy left it over or something. Like I'm like, what? Anyways,
I don't
like
think they've
Battlefront.
remastered them enough. I hope they do one more time, and then they have like Han and then Alien shoot at the exact same time. I think that'd be pretty funny.
Oh yeah, Greedo.
Yeah.
Like, Han shot first. That scene always just like it always freaks me out because like the way Han shoots, like he moves his head to the side so slightly, but you can easily see it. Just the way it looks, like it just kind of freaks me out.
Doesn't his body like stretch now or something? Like they composed it in like such a weird way. Like his body like stretches out of the way in like an unhuman way if you like slow it down.
I have no idea. I've never tried slowing it down, but I know he like moves like an inch, but like he still would have gotten hit by a bullet. Like he has his like arm on the like on the seat like with resting, and then obviously the pistol in his hand. He like quickly moves to the side and shoots. And it's like just the way it looks is really odd. I think slowing it down would definitely like help ease my queasiness in watching that scene. Like it's just I just can't. Like I feel so weird watching. Like it just looks so unnatural.
That scene confuses me. Like because George Lucas said that Greedo shot first. Like how did Han know? How did he know? Like there's like because if you slow it down,
it's gotta be a Jedi
frame by frame. They like shoot in the same frame, but you can see that Greedo's shot fires first. Like how the hell did he know?
He's a
He
Jedi.
can't be that. Oh no! Don't spoil more things for me, Jason.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Force Awakens. That's what happens at the beginning of the movie. Like the Force Awakens inside of him and Han Solo. And he's like, "That's it. I'm a Jedi."
God.
He's like, "That's how I shot first. Like I knew because I was a Jedi."
That would be so cool. Oh, that's all I want to see now. Oh man, you ruined the movie for me.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams. He's my dad. I talked to him. So
So that's where you get the name Jason from. It all makes sense. Anyways, back to Star Wars Battlefront.
Right, Battlefront. That game. All right. I feel like the only thing truly great about it is that it's 100% authentic. Like it feels like you are playing like a battle that could have been in one of the movies.
Oh yeah.
But everything else is like average to above average at best. Like the shooting is okay. There's not a whole lot of maps. There's not a whole lot of guns. I mean, it feels good, but I don't. There's something missing. I want like, where's Galactic Conquest? I mean, I know people are over about complaining about that, but where is Galactic Conquest? It was so good.
Oh my! Like that was a huge reason why I played the original so stinking much because like you could do you could side with the droids for a Galactic Conquest and just take over the world with the droids, which would never happen, but you could do it because it's a video game. And it's just so much fun to be had. And then you did it with two players, like you're going at it with against your friend, and you're neck and neck with each other because you're both if you're equally skilled, or like he gets a Jedi for a match, but
like
you end up getting a tank buster or something. Galactic Conquest was so good. I mean, I know people were complaining about lack of a campaign, but I always felt that you were just playing through the movies. Like, Battlefront 2 added in newer planets, like oh god, I can't even think of it, where Alea Sakura goes in episode 3, I think, and like it's definitely nice to actually see those planets in action, and like we weren't really shown those in the movies. But I mean, again, you're just playing through the movie. Like you're going through the rise of the Empire and stuff. And it's like, it's not anything original. I don't really need that. But it's still the most authentic, Star Wars game in terms of sound. Like I feel like I'm on Hoth, and it's so so satisfying. Like the kid in me is like giddy. I'm like, oh man, like it's just. Like, that's how I was when I first played Battlefront 1. Like, oh my god, like, this is really Hoth. This is so cool. And now I'm like, holy crap, this is Hoth. Like, oh my god, the attention to detail, everything. It's so good.
Star Wars
Battlefront when I first saw, like, the footage at where was it? It was like EA's press conference at E3. I didn't believe it. I was like, this has got to be running on some like high-end PC. I think that's one of the best looking games that have come out so far.
Oh yeah, it's everything about it. Like it's just, I know IGN did a graphics comparison, of the original Battlefront and the newer one, and obviously it's been two console generations since, but like Endor looked so realistic. Like all the trees were everywhere, bushes were everywhere. It's just, it's a mess. You don't know like where you're going. It's just, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I haven't played as much lately, but I've enjoyed what I've played at Battlefront, and I wish there was more content for sure. But I feel like if I could just stick to like 3 different modes, like Walker, Assault, Blast, and the air fighting one,
Fighter Squadron.
like Fighter Squadron. Like I'm just content with those 3 because they're just Fighter Squadron. Yeah, it's not the space battles, but I'm still able to pilot an X-wing, and that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I've used the word fantastic like 16 times in the past like 2 minutes. So.
Because it's fantastic.
You're right. Jason, you were also playing Fallout 4.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, so I won't go into it too much, but I'm probably going to say it's probably my favorite Bethesda game since either Fallout 3 or Oblivion. I didn't like Skyrim, didn't really like New Vegas that much, but man, I don't know, I'm just having fun. Mm-hmm. I think I'm liking it more than a lot of the other people on our site. Not that anybody's hating it or anything, but
yeah.
I don't know, it's like the one game this year that's like, probably the second game this year that's kept me like coming back. And it's funny because I keep thinking like every time I play like, okay, I'm going to go find Sean, I'm going to go find my baby, I'm going to go find Valentine in Diamond City, and I'm going to go start this mission. And I get nowhere close to there. And like playing and for like an hour, there's just so many distractions like on the map to go to. And it's funny because like all of them are so interesting too. Like they're not these like little side off areas. Like they all have like something really interesting to them. Like they have a terminal that you can hack and you go into it, and it's like, you read about how society fell apart like in this one area, and then you go around and you look afterwards and you see the skeletons and everything, and you just like kind of piece the story together in your head, and you're like, man, this is just so cool.
Yeah, oh absolutely. I forget where I was, but one of my favorite moments was I go into this terminal and I find out that I guess maybe it was like a health inspector coming to like this plant, and he's gonna shut it down. So I think they either had to kill the inspector, or like they had to like hide what was causing this plant to be suspicious and like what was going to make it get shut down. And like you just read through each little log, and like you get more details, and just like you said, you kind of piecemeal the story together, and you kind of think of in your own mind like what could have happened. And then Fallout hits and the world goes to crap, and it's like these are how the people handle these situations, and just people's lives were just ruined because of it.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I think the funnest stories to put together in there are the vaults. Like, what happened to these vaults, and what did Vault Tech do to these poor people?
Absolutely. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but like,
right.
You go into the terminals and you read upon it, and, like you learn some like messed up stuff, and like, the way Vault Tech handles its people, just as a corporation, what they really stand for. Like, they're just, they're not the best company. Like, they're not all they, are made out to be. Like, it's, happy-go-lucky, we'll keep you in the vault. Like, no, like, they're a twisted company. And, you see that when you read the terminals, you go into the vault, and you explore, and you just, like, let yourself just find out what happened, and you read upon all the stuff. Like, it's fascinating.
Yeah, I've only discovered, I think, one other vault. No, 2 other vaults so far, and I think I looked it up, and there's like 5 or 6 in the game. So I'm really excited to like find out what happened to the other vaults.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that I've been to so far, like nothing as crazy as 3. Like I think there was one in Fallout 3 where like didn't they left like a guy in a room with a bunch of puppets for a long time, and then he like went crazy, and like when he came out, he like one of the puppets on his hand was like he thought of him as like an actual person, and he like only talked to the pup, and then he rode on like a giant fire breathing ant or something.
Something like that. And I think there's a vault, and I think through New Vegas where like they cloned a guy like 70 times, and it's just, I think his name was Greg or something, and just the vault is just solely like clones of him, and it's like Greg number 74, and like they all just say one thing, like they all say the same thing. And it's like Jesus, like I can't even imagine being in that vault.
That's amazing.
And like
No,
see,
yeah.
like you know, like the like being alone, like what it does to these people, like you know, like you mentioned with the you know, the guy with the puppets, like that's just like that's something out of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's written so well.
I was pretty excited the last time I played. I came across the Dunwich area in this game. Which have you guys come across Dunwich in this game or 3?
I haven't.
I haven't now.
Okay, because in 3 it was a really spooky area. Like I don't want to spoil it if you haven't done it. It's always like the spooky area of the Fallout games, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but I forgot what Dunwich was until I brought it up in the chat, and then Kyle was like, I think that's in 3, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this from 3 now. It's just been so long.
Mm-hmm.
But no, and it was like this area that kept going down and down and down, and it was like the deepest area I've been in the game so far. Like I must have gone like down 20 or 30 flights of stairs to go down and down and down and down into this huge crevice in the ground. And there was just some really spooky stuff going on down there. There was like weird like moaning, and like it sounded like a giant monster down there. It was like really creepy. And then even my partner, I had Piper with me at the time, and she kept mentioning how she wanted to leave and she was scared, and like I was like, oh, I don't know if I even want to be in here, but I did it. It was really, really cool. You get a really awesome reward for doing that, so definitely do it. But I don't want to spoil anything else besides that. But
Oh, man,
definitely
that's
check that out. It's so cool.
I went to I don't know, it's like a witch house.
Oh yeah,
Like a
that's
guy's-
right next to it. By the way, it's really close.
Okay. I would figure that. And I go inside, and like what freaked me out the most was like, you know, this is a house full of mannequins. I'm not gonna spoil what else is in the house, but like this house full of mannequins. And like I turn my head and I hear like almost like a hand like the noise like a hand would hit on a piano. It's like that ding. And it's like intense, like oh crap, like something's here. And I turn my head like it's just a mannequin. And I'm like, I'm not staying in this house. Like these mannequins, like there's something up with these mannequins. Like they're just not coincidentally here. Like they were, you know, it's something's going on. And like it rubbed me the wrong way. Like you know, like going to like a haunted wax house or something. And like just it rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, oh god, like it's so scary.
It's funny because when I first went through there was a mannequin, and I didn't realize this was a glitch. I thought it was like part of the place because it was a witch house, but there was a mannequin that was floating in midair. It was sideways. So I had to look it up later. It's like, oh, so that wasn't supposed to happen. That was just a glitch, but it made sense.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man. So to wrap up, I am playing the greatest game to ever exist.
Yeah, okay.
Box Boy.
Box Boy. I am playing more and more of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
I can safely say that I am addicted to this game. This weekend, you know, I had a couple assignments to do for school. We're closing in on the semester. I have some final projects to work on, some papers to write, and I spent Thursday through Saturday just playing Final Fantasy XIV. Like it's so much fun. Like it's captured me the way Destiny did for a couple months here and there. But again, like it's just more appealing because it's Final Fantasy, and I just I love playing with John and Cody, and we're doing all these like sweet dungeons, and the story I'm closing in on it. I would say maybe like the last fourth, maybe a little bit closer to the end. It's really solid. Like you kind of have to read up on it. Like there's the beginning, it's kind of like meaningless tasks. Like go to this person, do that. Like you get a little bit of context. But like the story takes some dark and twisted turns, and then they start introducing cutscenes and like they just illustrate it more. Like it's a really solid story. Like it's probably one of the better in terms of story, better Final Fantasies I've played, and just it's so much fun to play. Like I'm a Dragoon class, and like there have been some awesome Dragoon characters and Lancers throughout Final Fantasy, and like the quest for that specific class, there apparently is only like one Dragoon like per per 100 years, like one for every generation of people. But now there's two, and as you do more of these class quests, you're getting all this awesome gear. Like you're getting this sweet dragoon helmet, chest piece, and you start to look like him, look the part more. And it's so satisfying to see this progression of like my own personal character, becoming stronger and looking the part. I honestly just can't get enough of it. And there's like there's daily stuff to do. You can go to the Gold Saucer, and every Saturday night there is like the big jackpot drawing, and you can win their currencies. So you can buy cards for Triple Triad, a game from Final Fantasy VIII. You can do chocobo races. You can breed, enhance your chocobos. You can do all these little mini games, and it's a stark contrast from the main game and the MMO stuff to it. Like it's just fun to be there, and the music's great. All these other people are just having fun. It's just really solid. I'm just having so much fun with it. I'm not gonna go into too much more because I could go on about how much I'm enjoying Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, at least I know what you guys are talking about now with the gambling thing, because I remember you guys talking about like doing drawings and stuff in the chat, and I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what is this?
Yeah,
I thought you guys were going to like some website and like some casino website or something.
Every Saturday there's like a big drawing, and it's like $1 million. I think it's MGP is the currency, and it's like $1 million. And like if you get the last number right, you get like 2,000. Which my first time doing, I got the last number right, so I got money. But I was like, oh, this is great. And it wasn't a lot in retrospect. It was enough to buy some cool stuff there. And every day there's a mini jackpot where there are different number combinations. If you get like 8, you get this much MGP. But if you get like 6, you get 10,000. And you have 3. It's like they're like 3 scratch off tickets. If sometimes you look at a thing that's like 2, 1, it's like come on, just give me 3. And if you get that 3, it's like, oh my god, yes, like I got 10,000, which isn't a whole lot, but it's just so satisfying. And I just like every day I'm like, oh man, I gotta go to the Gold Saucer for like a minute or two just to do those mini scratch offs. It's really fun.
Oh, cool.
But I said I was going to be done with Final Fantasy, but we're actually transitioning into a little bit of a Final Fantasy story. So, for Final Fantasy VII for PS4, not the full remake, but the PC port, there have been some trophies that have been discovered. This Exaphase, a website that tracks trophies and achievements, has published a listing via NeoGAF for the trophies from the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII. As to be expected, trophies look mostly the same as what you'd earn by playing the game, on Steam, of like the Steam achievements. They're largely the same for trophies. They're kind of just, one and the same. Just something interesting. So, I mean, this game was announced in, I want to say, October of last year. Sometime early this year, I guess, maybe, or last year. I can't remember exactly when. This PC port was announced, and eventually it was delayed, and it should be coming out soon. But honestly, I have no idea. But that's just an interesting little news story there from GameSpot, and like it sounds like the Final Fantasy VII PC port is getting close. Yeah, it's not the remake, but it is Final Fantasy VII on PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I like when they go back and add trophies to old games. It'd be funny if when the new one launched on PS4, if it had like the same exact trophies. Could you imagine?
Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. The one thing I gotta say though is like I hate when the trophies are like just meaningless, like something you get in the first like 10 seconds, and that's like some of these. Like I'm looking at them right now, and the first one's like first blood, like win your first battle. It's like
too hard.
That's
man.
It took me 7 hours to get past that first battle. I don't know how
grinded the whole time.
I don't know how I did it, but I mean I couldn't kill anybody to beat that first battle, but it was mighty close.
And you found out you had summons, and you're like, holy crap!
Knights of the Round, who are these? What do I do? Anyways, up next, Mario Kart 8 is getting a one-off competitive gaming TV show. How about that? So there is going to be a Mario Kart themed TV show later this week. Nintendo announced this one-off program is called Clash of Karts, and it will be broadcasted on Disney XD on December 5th at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. And there will be 8 of America's best young gamers teaming up with YouTube personalities like Strawberry17, Andre, Atomic Mari, and Seth Bling in a Mario Kart 8 competition in front of a live audience. The show is an hour long, and the participants will play in multiple rounds of Mario Kart 8. That's pretty cool. I mean, I would love to see, Mario Kart 8, and young kids and these high profile YouTubers, collaborating and doing this. Just what looks like a really fun experiment. Hopefully there's more in the future if this goes well.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get like a little like esports like kids teams going or something with some of these, especially with like Nintendo games. Like Splatoon would be another great like esports games for kids. Smash Bros.
Was Mario Kart 8 in the Nintendo World Championships? Do you know?
Yes, yeah, I think there was like 2 events they had in there that involved Mario Kart.
Oh wow, okay, that's pretty cool. I don't really go to Disney XD. I think that's where Yokai Watch is, the TV show, and I watched the first episode of that. So I do have Disney XD, so I might check this out when it airs.
Are these kids doing this because they're really good, or because they're just picked up off the street by Nintendo asking if they want to do a esports show?
I think it might be because they're really good.
Oh, that'd be interesting to see. I'm curious as to how good these kids are.
It sounds like they're getting the 8 best Mario Kart players that are younger, and kind of having a competition or like a team battle or something. It'd be interesting to see for sure. Mm-hmm. And lastly, it's a little bit short of the news side, so because we're going to talk about something here in a couple of minutes here that'll probably wrap up the show or take the last third or so. Fez is getting a $100 physical edition and vinyl soundtrack release.
My prayers have been answered.
Really?
I don't know.
No, I mean, the game was okay, but
I like the concept of it. It's definitely interesting, but I was never crazy about Fez, and I'm not going to drop $100 on this. So it's getting a limited edition re-release in December in the form of a $100 hardcover notebook that includes the PC game and a digital copy of the soundtrack. The soundtrack is also now available as a stylish double LP from the developer's online store. And the limited edition is limited to 500 signed and numbered copies. The book is bound in red canvas with gold foil embossed details, and included is a DRM free copy of the game for Mac and Windows, and a digital copy of the Disaster Pieces 26-song soundtrack. So that's definitely interesting. I'm looking at this right now on Polygon, and it has the Fez symbol on the front, and then the book. It looks pretty cool. It looks to be a pretty thick book. Maybe if you're a big Fez fan, it's definitely worth getting. But it looks pretty cool from the pictures.
Seems fishy to me.
Oh my gosh!
He's back.
John Cena.
Jason,
no, yeah. So I played this when it came out, and I got totally lost like 30 minutes in.
Oh yeah, same here.
And then like I don't know what it is. I just couldn't get back into it anymore. Like I couldn't even get back to where I was trying to get back to. I was like, that's it. This is just like a game of doors, and I don't know where I'm gonna end up, and I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, I love the concept of it. It's it's really intelligent, but first 30 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm going to these 6 different worlds. I'm getting all these items. Like, oh, sweet. And I was like, where the hell am I? Mm-hmm. How do I get back to where I want to go? And just, it's a good game, but I was terrible at it.
Yeah.
And now we're moving on to the last minute So we have a Twitter question from Versus the Nerd World asking, should we be more forgiving of bugs in games? What are your guys' thoughts?
Definitely not, personally. I think we should be less forgiving. I think we're too forgiving of bugs.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like I was thinking about, before we started the show, and I was thinking about this question. What was I gonna say? Like, you look at like Assassin's Creed Unity, that was littered with bugs, but like that was something you wouldn't really expect from an Assassin's Creed game. Like, oh, this is weird, and like, they're usually really well polished games. But like I can cut them some slack for that. In to a degree, like they've had a good track record before, and I trust them. And it's like, a little weird. And then Bethesda, like, none of the bugs, at least for me, were game breaking. And the game crashed once, but like I'm just sick of it. Particularly Bethesda, like it's, first game on a new machine, and you're understanding the hardware and the tech, but like you've had like 5 chances with Oblivion, Skyrim, and Fallouts. Well, I guess New Vegas wasn't Bethesda, but you had plenty of chances to fix out the kinks. And like, oh, it's a Bethesda glitch. Like, I'm sick of these glitches. Like I don't want to see a guy halfway through a wall, half his face there and the other half, in the wood of my house. I don't want to get stuck between a car and a wall, and I just can't move, and I have to, restart the game. Like, it's just really frustrating.
Yeah, for me, see, I think it depends on the glitch, because I think every game is gonna have some glitches. Like, I think like wall clipping is in like every single game. Mm-hmm. Like, you're always gonna have that, and that's something that's very, very hard to take out. Like, I don't think you're ever going to be able to like take that out of it.
Able to fix every bug. And it's not the biggest deal to clip.
Right.
But I'm like, Bethesda, like you've.
But yeah, no, I totally agree with like Bethesda and stuff. Like they've had enough chances now. It's like it's time to fix your mistakes. Because it almost seems like in some cases, like if you take out New Vegas because it wasn't a Bethesda game, it almost feels like it's getting worse. Because I have seen a ton of bugs, like you were saying, none of them are game breaking at all in Bethesda games, but they're just weird. Like you were saying, like faces through the wall of your house. Like I've seen a cow through the face of my house now a couple times. Like those, what do you call them, the 2-headed cows?
The Brahmins, yeah.
The Brahmins. I'm like, what is it? I was like, when did I get a Brahmin mount? I was like, oh, there's one like stuck on my wall. Great. Yeah. And then like that, what's her name? That drug addict lady.
Oh God.
Mama Murphy.
Mama Murphy,
oh,
Mamma Mia,
God.
man. She keeps ending up on my roof. I'm like, what are you doing? That's it. I like pulled out a fat boy on her the other day and blew her away. I was like, get off my roof.
Like, this is what you get.
Yeah, and then the mysterious stranger popped up too and finished the job, so that was nice.
No. Yeah, I mean, there's always gonna be bugs in games, but I just mainly I don't want to point out Bethesda and be like, it's just Bethesda. Like they're
right.
They're one of my favorite developers, but it's just their games I've noticed the most. And it's like these quirky little bugs. Like I feel like they could be fixed in other games. Why not?
Right.
Why can't Bethesda do it like other companies could?
And some of you guys brought this up in the chat today. I was like at work and I was reading, and I totally agree because someone was saying, like, I think developers are getting lazier, and I totally agree with that because I feel like it's kind of a domino effect. Like, they're just like, well, we want to get it on this launch date, so we'll just patch in the fixes later. And so all these games are just kind of like shipping with all these bugs like the first couple weeks. Mm-hmm. And that really leaves like an impression on you too. Like, you don't, like Unity, like a lot of people never went back and finished that. Like, that left a huge bad impression on me. I mean, that was unplayable when I played it. I got to that first chapel, and this is no joke. Like, I went online and checked, and there were people doing, like, scans of how many frames per second that was running. It was 1 frame per second in that first chapel.
Cow.
1 frame per second.
That's insane.
It was just like, you didn't even know what was going on. It was just...
Kevin Punter disapproves of that.
I do disapprove of that. Oh my God, Unity.
Hashtag 27 frames.
Unity broke my tolerance for like an abundance of bugs in games. Like people who defended that game, they said, "Oh, well, you might like it. It might be a good game if it didn't have bugs." But there's so many bugs that you can't even tell if it would be a good game without them.
It's like if there were bugs and it hurt my experience within the first hour or so, I'm not gonna want to continue playing because yeah, there might be a fix, but the first couple hours I'm not gonna get back. They were just so negative. It's frustrating. Like I lose the trust and I lose that interest in the game because those first 2 hours were just a mess. And yeah, it could work perfectly fine the rest of the way, but just it rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, so there's that, and then I think the worst experience I had this year was The Witcher, or of course, I call it the Glitcher.
That's such a shame.
Yeah, and I was enjoying that game. Like I loved it. I got a few hours in. I think it was 3 or 4 hours in, and then all of a sudden, characters' heads started popping off, and I thought it was funny at first. Like I was taking videos, I was like, "Hey, this is great. I live for this kind of stuff." I think it's funny. But then when it became like a game-breaking bug, where it's like I try to leave like the city or Navigard or wherever, and then the game would just crash. I was like, well, okay. And then the save wouldn't load, and then I was getting sucked into buildings, and it wasn't loading the world, and I was like, this is not right. That shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Stuff like that shouldn't exist.
It's frustrating. I mean, we wish, of course, that all games come out bug free and perfect, but it's just not how it is. But it's just man, I wish some of these bugs would just not exist. I mean, I'm more forgiving of a consistent consistent studio and developer in general who this is their one hiccup. Like okay, something's off, but it's it's still this company I respect and I appreciate. I'm still gonna play their games. But if it's 3-4 times, I'm just like, guys, come on, it's I don't know a single thing about game development. I don't know how hard it is or isn't or is, but what goes into it. But I'm just like, come on. As a consumer, I'm like, I wish it could be cleaner.
What was that game that it was from Sony? I think it was a buggy mess before it came out, and then they delayed it for 6 weeks, and it came out almost flawless in terms of bugs. Was that The Last of Us? Because I know The Last of Us got delayed by 6 weeks. I think because it was half broken, and I don't remember having any bugs.
I know The Last of Us. Yeah, it was delayed a decent amount of time, and I guess they weren't or not convinced, but happy with the quality of it at the time. And of course, it's now, for me, it's the best game I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And that 6 weeks made a huge difference.
Exactly,
so,
delaying your game can pay off. But so many publishers are afraid to do it. Unity came out. They did delay Unity, didn't they?
I'm not positive on that.
Oh, well, I mean,
I think it came out in November, which is usually when they launch it. So I'm going to guess that they probably tried to rush it for the holiday season.
It sounds like it was delayed, but not terribly long though.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a month. And then we've seen Zelda Wii U delayed into 2016. So, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully that game, knock on wood, doesn't have anything wrong with it once we get it. Anyways, on to a certain event that Jason and I are going to call PlayStation Experience. So,
Woo!
We are arriving in San Francisco on Friday, and are you leaving on Monday as well, Jason?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, we're both leaving on Monday. So PlayStation Experience itself is Saturday and Sunday, and I figured because it's I'm going, you're going, Jake and Julius are going too, so it'll be great to finally meet up and everything, and get to see the floor. This is my first event, and see some of the newer games coming out, or newer games that have been recently announced, and just going to that show. And I'm so excited for this. This is gonna be fantastic. What are you most excited for, Jason?
I guess just everything they have to show that we don't know about, because when we look back to last year, I didn't really expect to see that much. Like, I just kind of figured it'd be a bunch of indie games, and there were a lot of indie games there, but man, they showed off a lot of new first-party games that we didn't know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's really cool about this, is it's almost like getting another E3 during the year of just, PlayStation exclusives that we knew nothing about, and even learning about games that they did show 6 months ago at E3. Like, I'm guessing they're going to be bringing, like, what's it called, like Horizon there, or like maybe we'll learn some more about that, or like any of the other games that they showed this year, maybe even Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah. That'd be really cool. I know I'm looking forward to, just getting on the floor and being able to play some of these games, before the release. And, I haven't, played any indie games in a little while. So I'm excited to play, maybe like Severed will be there from Drinkbox Studios. That game looks interesting to me. Kind of just walk around and just see what, people are making. And then you get to the conference and I have no idea what we're going to see there. But I'm excited just because, anything can happen.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to the developers too, because I heard like they're really open there. Like,
oh, really?
Jeff Gaffey will just be like hanging out with like his new game, and he'll be like, "Hey, what do you think? Like let me know." And like that's really cool, because they really care about what you think about their games, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
What goes into them and whatnot. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm banking on the chance of 2 certain games getting announced.
Ni no Kuni.
Ni no Kuni 2.
Yes.
Or Ni no Kuni Remastered.
I said it like a while ago. Like, if they announce that game, like, I will stand up and cry. Like, I'll get so emotional. Like, no joke, because I'm so excited. Like, that's one of my favorite games of all time. And I can't believe they never brought it to PS4. Like, I can't believe, it was just such a great game. And then also, the fact that, like, during last E3, Level 5 said, I think it was, like, almost 2 months before E3, they said, we have a PlayStation 4 exclusive that we are going to be bringing to E3. Never happened. And then, so I figured, okay, it's got to be coming to, like, Gamescom, or it's got to be coming to Paris Games Week. Never happened. Nothing announced on it. And I was like, okay, it's got to be PSX. If it doesn't happen, something happened. Like, they canceled it or something. I'm going to be very sad. Like, they got to announce something.
Yeah. For me, I'm hoping to get, it announced. I know there are rumors of Valkyria Chronicles 1 getting a PS4 port, which I would love, but like I want to be there and be like, Valkyria Chronicles 1 coming to PS4, out this day, because like I only played about 5 hours of it, but that game, the aesthetic, that game is it's a watercolor, it's so good. It's I don't play many tactical RPGs, but the world was so interesting, and just the premise, everything it was a really solid game from what I played.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that game, so I wouldn't mind that either. I think there's like a few other games that they had on PS1 and PS2 as well that were Sony exclusive that they could probably bring back as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think did they make Dark Cloud?
Was that Level 5 or is that no? Because Sega did. I think they might have published it. Either developer published Valkyria Chronicles, but I want to say Level 5 was Dark Cloud.
Okay.
Just double check that real quickly, because I would love to get Dark Cloud 1 or 2.
Yeah, because I barely remember that, but I remember that being like really good when it came out.
Oh yeah, my
I think that was a PS2 launch too.
Oh, he was a huge fan of Dark Cloud 1. I went to a couple weeks ago. I went to like a retro game store that I didn't even know existed, and had Dark Cloud there, Dark Cloud 2 there, and I know it's a tougher to find PS2 game, so I was like, man, like, I was really tempted to buy it because I still have a working PS2. So Dark Cloud is Level 5. Let me look at Valkyria Chronicles. Here we go. Valkyria Chronicles is Sega. Okay.
Jason.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I want you to do something during that PlayStation conference.
Please tell.
You said you'd stand up and cry if they announced Ni no Kuni 2.
Yeah.
Record yourself during the whole conference. If it happens, I want the evidence.
Okay. I bet you anything if I do, like, they'll zoom in on me or so. It'll be like that one guy during the E3 conference. You know who I'm talking about. He like,
yes!
yeah, he got like all emotional when they announced Shimoon 3. Was it? Oh,
Shenmue 3, yeah.
It was amazing.
I love the game trailers video because like the second it hit, like Kevin Huber, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Huber. Yeah,
Yeah, Mike
like
Huber,
so emotional.
He's like, he's like, oh my god! He's like, jumping up and down. He's freaking out because Shenmue means so much to him, and I was like, man, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, that'll totally be me, Ni no Kuni.
Oh man, I'm like, Jason, this is it. And while you're waiting, you can play Ni no Kuni 1 on PS4 and be like, oh my god.
I've got like the shakes just like thinking about it. Like I'm literally like shaking, like sweating right now. I'm like so excited, like hoping that'll happen.
So we'll see. I mean, it's only a few days away, so hoping for the best here.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap up episode 39 of the GameBolt podcast, the official podcast of thegamebolt.com, which posts to iTunes every Tuesday and YouTube every Wednesday. If you have any topics that we should discuss, any questions, feel free to tweet us at @the_GameBolt with your topics. We'll be sure to read them on the show and discuss them, like versus the Nerd World did. Thank you very much for that question. On the side right now, we have Ryan's Star Wars Battlefront review went up a few days ago. Toby has a Game of the Year article up with Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, which I totally stand by. The game is wonderful. And we're also going to plug our Twitter handles. Jason, where can we find you?
You can find me at J_Smash1.
Kevin, where can we find you?
I'm not on the Twitters. I gotta get on that. I gotta stop being such a social hermit. Oh man.
Really?
Don't judge me, all right?
Kevin, give us your MySpace.
Oh yeah, I'll get right on that. It's I'm not allowed to say it on the online.
Oh shoot.
Oh.
Kevin, give us your Skype name.
My Skype name? Am I allowed to say it?
Swag Daddy or something?
The hooker train.
No, not that one.
That's my Snapchat, dude.
No,
That's
Skype.
horrible.
Oh, my Skype. Almost swag. You can add me on that.
Almost
swag. No spaces, no caps.
When did you make that handle?
I don't know, man. I was young and stupid. Young
You're
and
still
full
young.
of hope.
You're still young.
Then he ate his
still young.
Smarties and he grew up.
I bought
Kevin,
John
I'm
his
like
Smarties
45.
today.
There you go. Are you gonna ship him out Smarties? Does John not have Smarties?
No one in the States has Smarties.
What? I don't believe that. I've eaten Smarties here before.
No,
Yeah,
the chocolates, not the
candy.
Not the candy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this.
Okay. I was like, wait, like Smarties is a really common candy to find here in the store.
They're called Rockets up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I see. And you can find me at Brett Woodmansee, WOODMANSEE. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody have a wonderful week.
Yeah.
Peace.